Right, you lot, and we are less than a month into 2026, and the president has already pissed off his enemies, his allies, and his own people. That's got to be a world record. I've never seen someone fuck up so much so quickly since Logan Paul fucked up 3 days into 2018 with the suicide forest scandal. This isn't even the earliest that the president's ever fucked up. Remember January 6th? Now, I'll be honest, right, I've been slacking when it comes to the videos. It seems that every 3 days, he does something else mental that just pisses everyone off, right? And every time I said, okay, I'm going to do a video on that, something else new adds to the pile. So, on this video, I'm just going to talk about some of the things he's done recently that have been bigger stories, and also the ICE stuff, because bloody hell, what the fuck are they doing? One of the big campaigns and main promises for why you should vote for Trump over Kamala Harris, or he also used this against Hillary Clinton, is that he's a president of peace, right? He's a president of no wars. He was very proud of the fact that from 2016 to 2020, we had no major war breakout, and then under Biden, he got the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the Israel-Palestine conflict, right? President of no wars. He was given some peace prize for Giovanni Infantino, basically just sucking his dick and trying to get him on the good side. It was just embarrassing to watch, really. Where they claimed all these wars that Trump may or may not have ended. Half of them, just weren't even conflicts. And they claimed if Trump didn't win, then these conflicts could have happened. It was just stat padding. But now he's been threatening to take Greenland in basically whichever fashion he wants, basically. He doesn't care how gritty or violent it's going to be, he's going to get there. He has backtracked on this, or he's kind of playing the will he, won't he? It's like a fucking drawn-out sitcom at the minute, what he's going to do. But I mean, the stuff he's saying is just outrageous, man. He's claiming some bullshit security reasons why he needs it, or why is it in the good, you know? Have you never heard of NATO? Like, why are you getting involved in all this shit, man? He claims that Denmark have no right to have it because you can't just walk on land and claim it as your own. That's how America was founded, you idiot. You know, there was a lot of talk about Biden's mental state, right? And whether he was sharp enough to be the president. You know, every time you made a hiccup or you got a fact wrong, people were jumping on him. And yeah, maybe he was too old. But this guy, he's as mental as he was. Anyway, we all know why he wants Greenland. It's minerals, let's be honest. And it's like, I'd understand him sending threats to like an Iran of the world, or a Russia or a China, right? Actual enemies. Why? Now talking of other conflicts, he's dipping his toes in. Venezuela. The president, honestly, right now, is like a kid if you give them a credit card with no spending limit. They're just going to flog all the money on V-Bucks and stupid shit. Have no responsibility. That's what the president's like right now. Yes, let's go kidnap random people for oil and all this stuff. Like, yeah. Look, I was no fan of Maldani. You know when Trump claimed that the Democrats stole the election, which has like been factually proven didn't happen, right? This guy actually stole an election, right? He was an illegitimate leader of Venezuela. And I'm not going to lose any tears about going. But also, you can't just go around the way they did it, kidnapping a leader. It's crazy, man. Absolutely insane. The president is also pissed off the UK, somehow. Now, Keir Starmer kind of had like a difficult time when it comes to what he does about the big elephant in the room that is the president, right? Because you've got people on the right who are like, yes, you should stick with him no matter what. Screw Europe, they're absolutely useless and they're no good for us. We need to stick with our strongest ally and all this stuff. And then you got the rest who are like, you should not be associated with Trump. He's dangerous, you know. And then Starmer's somewhere in the middle of like trying to play partisan, which you could argue, you know, a weak leader with no ideas and no backbone, or you could argue like a guy clever and trying to get the best out of the situation, right? But even he's lost it with the man now. Trump did this whole speech the other day for some reason, claiming that the UK did nothing in Afghanistan and that are hundreds of men and women who lost their lives or were heavily injured or disabled were nothing. They were just cowards and didn't do enough. He was called out for this rightfully by pretty much everyone. Even the most like righteous of right politicians were criticising Trump for this in this country. Like your Rupert Lowe's of the world. I've never seen him disagree with Trump on anything. That says something when you... I don't look at Tommy Robinson's Twitter, but I imagine even he disagreed with Trump on this point. And when you've even lost him. Trump did apologise for this, but it was the most half-assed apology since Colin Ballinger dropped Toxic Gossip Train. Or Kanye West, when he recently did an apology the other day. Mate, it's too late, man. Had to drop in there that, you know, the UK military are amazing, they're second only to us. You didn't need to put that line in there. But the main thing I do want to talk about today is not even about Trump, but it's about his organisation, ICE. ICE are a disgrace. Now, if you don't know who ICE are, they're these guys, these immigration custom officers, right? They go about, and their whole point is that, on paper, they're there to stop terrorism and to round up illegal immigrants, right? Instead, they're just these really aggressive, violent guys who, anyone who's slightly too brown, they just, like, question and aggressively want IDs and all this stuff. And it's like, some of their methods are a bit extreme, you know. They're like one of those teachers in schools who are just really hard for no reason on kids and just have the most foolish teaching methods that are just the most aggressive, you know. But someone would argue, okay, maybe the method may be extreme, but the cause is good at heart, right? It's hard to defend them now. I mean, they're also everywhere. I don't know how many ICE officers there are. There must be bloody thousands, because they're all over the shop. There's so many. Soon everyone's going to be bloody ICE agents are going to be at the Super Bowl during the Bad Bunny halftime show. Do you really think illegal immigrants are going to be able to get tickets to the Super Bowl? What are ICE doing there, man? But ICE have gone from just being a bit, like, crazy and violent to being caught on camera multiple times just killing innocent people for, like, little reasons. Of course, the big headline was the tragic killing of Renee Good. If you don't know what happened, Renee Good was in a car park. She was being questioned by ICE. She was composed, she was completely normal, she's laughing there, like, she's like, no, I'm not mad at you guys, it's all good, right? She's about as much a threat as that rabbit off Bambi. Like, okay, she's someone who may be outspoken about ICE and has been to a few protests and maybe isn't on their best books, right? But you see her just wanting to get away, right? You see her reversing her car, turning the other direction. People have done shot-for-shot analysis of this event, and pretty much everyone with a brain has concluded that she was not trying to kill the guy. There was no argument that she was trying to kill the guy, she was just trying to get on with her day. But because she's your typical TikTok liberal, right, the kind of girl that conservatives absolutely hate, you know, she had a wife, she had different colour hair, called herself a poet. Conservatives probably have a heart attack when they even hear the existence of her. Thank God she wasn't trans, you know. But because of that, there were some conspiracies that she was trying to kill the guy. No, she was completely innocent. The guy was so quick to shoot. Jonathan Ross was his name. No, it wasn't that annoying British presenter, thank God. He shot so quick, you could call him hand bloody solo. That there was no need to do that. It was disgraceful. It was outrageous. And the worst part is that there's no accountability. The whole argument was that apparently it was self-defense, or that she was this terrorist, and that they did the right thing. They had to shoot. It's just so backwards. It's just denying reality. It's denying what we can see. It almost feels like George Orwell shit. And I don't want to take it to that. I don't want to make, you know, accusations of fascism and all that stuff that people will throw about. I think it gets used too loosely, but this is disgraceful. And the fact that we have leaders in America denying what the average person, I saw so many conservatives, like, condoning this, you know. I saw so many, in a similar way to, like, we saw, in a similar vein to something like the Charlie Kirk assassination, when you had people actually stop for a minute and go, holy shit, this was tragic, man. Of course, you had the odd conservatives trying to screen their agenda about how it was justified in some way, but most moderate conservatives were shocked about this and thought this was wrong. Pretty much a week later, ICE shot another innocent person, and this time it might be even worse somehow. Because in the first one, they had the defence of the car. Okay, was she going to run him over? No. But at least they had that to claim on, that there was a slight chance. This was like, there's actually no defending the killing of Alex Pretty. This guy was a very normal bloke, right? This was a guy who worked to help veterans. That was his job, right? He worked in... Yeah, so his job was literally working with veterans. It's a conservative wet dream. Right? He seemed a lovely bloke, and all he was doing was protecting another girl who was being brutally hurt for no reason by ICE, right? He was standing up to them. He had possession of a gun earlier on in the day. They took the gun off him. He legally was allowed to carry that gun. He didn't shoot the gun or anything, right? He had full right. They took it off him. And then sometime later they killed him. Like, what the hell? It's diabolical, it's disgusting. And once again, they've called this man, who has a day job working with veterans, and he's like a calm, collective, normal bloke. They've called him a terrorist. They called him some violent threat. They've not put their hands up and said, we had to kill him. He wasn't a threat. He was disarmed of his weapon. Why did they kill him? Then how are they hiring these people? These people seem way too eager to shoot. It is just scary times that we live in. The fact that this is too, and I hope people like wake up and actually say, okay, things need to change. They've got way too much power, man. So yeah, anyway, I don't know if this is my most well researched or well put together video. I've been very distracted lately, so I may not have all the facts. Alright, if you've got anything more to add, or there's anything I've missed, or anything else that I didn't bring up at the president, and if you have any defence, like I do like to hear opposite viewpoints. I am open to hear things. I'm not gonna say you're 100% wrong if you disagree with me, right? I mean, if you're defending these shootings, I mean, there's something a bit wrong with you, I reckon. But you know, I'm open to alternative views, so I will hear from you lots.